Hello, everybody out there in YouTube land. Welcome to another week in Geek. This week marks the end of a particularly trying time because the run on election season is always pretty hard on myself and most of my friends, most of the people I know, because constantly being bombarded with political rhetoric from both sides and every shill opinion on both sides of the aisle just fills up my feed, fills up my ears, and all I want to do is just pull further and further and further away from the world and ignore it and just pretend like it doesn't exist, at least until the elections are over with. So now that they are over with, I'm hopefully going to maybe get back involved with the living in the world again a little bit, maybe. But I want to say this. I'm not a political channel. I never have been. I never will be. And I'm not going to endorse either candidate. I'm not going to say, I voted for this person, I voted for that person. I'm not going to do it. It's none of anybody's business. And besides, you don't come to tune in to hear my politics. You came in here to talk some geek stuff. But I just want to mention one thing. Obviously, the Democrats lost, and they're upset about it. As I'm sure the Republicans would be upset if they had lost. Now, here's the difference. I have always considered myself to be a leftist, right? I want housing for people. I want jobs for people. I want money for people. I want medical care for people. I want trans rights. I want gay rights. I want all these good things for people. I do. And I stand by those things. So I kind of consider myself to be pretty much on the left. However, I don't necessarily agree with everything on the left. I have a few quibbles, a few qualms. I like my firearms. I like a few other things that the right also likes. So, and this is kind of what I'm getting at. All of the people who wanted me to vote for Kamala Harris, to vote for Democrats, all those people who demanded that we needed to vote for her, and the Democrats are also the same people who demonized me and criticized me and tried to cancel me because I did not adhere strictly to the leftist policies 100%. Because I chose to have a little bit of free thought and have some mixed feelings about some of the issues on the left and did not support them all the way down the party line. They demonized me for it. They treated me like I was a piece of shit, like I was an outsider, like I was somebody who needed to be canceled, who needed to be silenced. And yet, in their time of need, they wanted me to come support them. Now, I'm not saying I didn't. Okay, let me let that sink in. I'm not saying I did not support them. But just for the record, I thought, how funny is this that these people are all screaming, crying, begging, and upset because their side lost when they were so willing to turn on the people who could have helped them swing the opinion the other direction, who could have swung maybe the ballots in the opposite direction. They were so busy eating their own. They were so busy trying to get everybody to adhere to 100% party politics all the way down the line and shut out anybody who even disagreed a little bit. And it wasn't just me who didn't disagree with them. a little bit. I have plenty of trans friends who didn't necessarily support everything down the party line either. I have plenty of gay friends who didn't support everything all the way down the party line either. And those people were demonized. So how hard is it going to be to get people to support you if you're constantly telling them that they're not good enough to be part of your group? Food for thought, And I hear all these things online about how people are wanting to leave the country, and move and get citizenship in other places, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is the wrong attitude to have. Instead of saying, well, we should get out of this country, it should be, well, we messed up. We alienated the people who could have helped us. We alienated the people who were on our side. We told those people who wanted to help us to go eat themselves. We tried to cancel those people. We tried to get those people kicked out of their jobs. We did all these horrible things to these people who would have supported us. So instead, why don't we do better and start building bridges with these people and start actually being tolerant? Because, they're always talking about the tolerant left. Well, practice what you preach, guys. Be tolerant, okay? Because I'll tell you something, when you guys shut me out, when you guys blocked me, when you guys didn't listen to me just because I had one or two opinions that didn't agree with yours, or I thought a different way than you, but I still agreed with you on everything else, what does that say about you? You're not tolerant. But you know who was tolerant? All those guys on the right, guys like Snowdub, guys like Loki, all these other people who were pretty hardcore Trump and Republican supporters. They were open. They did listen to me. We didn't agree on everything. We don't agree on everything. I don't agree on everything with them. But they don't shut me out. They don't block me. They don't demonize me. They don't make me feel like I'm a piece of garbage because I don't agree with them. We just disagree and we go on. That's what human beings should be doing. That's what the left should be doing. They should be like, okay, well, you don't agree. I understand. But the left wanted to die on that hill, and so they did. Their candidate didn't get voted in. And I'm sorry for them. But at the same time, I'm not sorry for them. Because I'm kind of like, you brought it on yourselves, guys. You brought it on yourselves. You could have had friends and allies and people who could have helped you win that election. But you chose to shut them out. You chose to spit on them. You chose to, be the worst possible human beings, the most intolerant human beings you possibly could to the people who could have helped you. So this is what you get. This is the consequences of your actions. Okay, I'm not saying I'm happy for it. I'm not saying this is an outcome I wish for. I'm just saying you should have seen this coming. You should have known better. You should have thought ahead of time. Because we could have helped you, But anyway, it's over with. So let's get on with it. Hey, Graham. Yeah. I know. You've already put your video up.
Yeah. And been on a podcast and done some other stuff. So
yep. Yeah. I know.
Still, I'm going to need this.
Yeah, I figured you would. And I get it. But I feel like how I feel about it, and I'm aggravated. I don't know what to say. It's just, it is what it is. It happened.
Let us move on.
Yes,
What-
let us.
What nerd shit can we get super angry about instead?
Oh, I have got the best nerd shit to get angry about. Why don't I have our good friend Kyle sing us into it? Shall we? I got copyright claimed on the last one, but I'm sure I will get on this time too. You ready?
Go for it.
All right. Oh, wait a minute. Did I? Please tell me I did not. Did I not save it?
You forgot it?
I may have to cut it out, but let's see.
The asses and prioritize the top scars. Only kind of heroin for BioWare's black tar. Identity graffiti, IP studio dies. Unnecessary non-binary propagandize. Activist inject queer tits disappear. Gay dev here stay drooling on their headgear. No DLC, of course. You wash your hands. Good luck selling future games with no fans. Checkpoint betas has the bonfire well met. She likes horns and Bowser and Baphomet. Force androgyny because you like the smoke crack. The only time they fantasize about you's near train tracks. Modern audience demographic selected. Woke stains cannot be disinfected. Sabotage profit with political correctness. Remove choice cause no one will naturally select this. Mainstream media's dead, what can I say? Peanut the squirrel murdered new Harambe. Shill blowjobs won't save a dead franchise. Unqualified DEI demise. Shinichiro Watanabe said you're gonna carry that weight. Dick and balls having developers wanna menstruate incomplete like Batman without Pennyworth already in the books, but go ahead and get your money's worth.
So there we go. That's from our friend Kyle. Go subscribe to his channel. He's much bigger than I am, but I don't mind shilling for him because he's good. He's funny. He's worth listening to. He's got some good opinions, and he pretty much sticks to the video game streaming pretty hard.
Sophia Narwitz did a big review of
Yes.
Veilguard, which has finally settled me on no, I'm absolutely not getting it until it's free somewhere. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
I-
but I think
I-
that was worth watching.
Oh yeah, I absolutely. In fact, I was watching it before the stream started. I love Sophia Narwitz. I would love to have her on the show someday, but I've asked her and haven't gotten a reply. So it's kind of that unicorn thing, you know. It's kind of like, you know, you don't want to be on the show. That's fine. Just tell me you don't want to. Just, you know, don't leave me hanging. How do I spell Kale? Spell it like this. Just like, come on. This thing's running slow for some reason today.
In your mind. Okay.
Yeah. And if you do go subscribe to him, tell him T-Shirt Historian sent you. I mean, give me a little credit on that one. God knows, it would be kind of cool to have some two-way reciprocation on that, you know?
That's
Or
what
better
she
yet,
said.
yeah. I'd love to have Kyle come on our show. I mean, I don't know why he would. He's got like, I don't know, 100,000, 200,000 subscribers. So, you know, my show is just a...
benevolent.
Yeah, well, I'm a tiny drop in the bucket. Of course, I always feel like a tiny drop in the bucket around you. You got like, what, 7,000 now? So
Yeah, coming up on 7,500.
yeah. So there you
Which
go.
isn't many. Come on. Be sensible.
Better than me. Better than me. Anything is better than 1,000.
What's annoying is I check my stats and like 30 to 40,000 individual users are tuning in every month, but they're not subscribing.
Well, aren't you still getting some kind of an ad revenue from it, though?
Yeah, a bit. Yeah. Not enough for the time I spend on it, but I don't do it for the money. So
Well, I may end up having to do it for the money at some point pretty soon. I don't know. I don't know how much longer I can hold out at my job, but I'm gonna try, you know, till they throw me out or till my body finally quits on me. Don't know which is going to happen first, but
nearly said something political there.
It's hard not to. I know it's hard not to. So Mercurius for Australian $2 says there. So there was an election then. Well, yeah, ostensibly. I mean, you wouldn't know there was, considering the sweeping blood red state colors that I got to see.
There was a very important election. Kemi Badenoch was made the leader of the Conservative Party here in the UK.
Ooh,
that's the big political news that everyone's upset about.
Over there?
Yeah. Well, no, nobody cares, which is quite funny. Really.
Well,
how the mighty have fallen.
Well, I have got a brand new clip, Mercurius that I'm going to put on for you, and we're going to see if we can't make Grim laugh with it. So y'all ready? This is for you, Mercurius. You smiled. You smiled.
I thought one of them was going to lean forward and say, "I'm non-binary," from the Dragon Age clip.
No. I thought that was more funny.
That was good.
That was a good one. Anyway, let's see. Did we crap on the DMG 2024 yet? No, not yet. I was kind of hoping Ironcaster was going to be here today so we could do some of that, but he wasn't, so...
Yeah, I don't have my copy yet, so I haven't had a chance to look at it yet.
And I refuse to buy it. I'm going to wait until I see some copies popping up on eBay, and then I may avail myself of one.
I kind of have to, so that's why.
Yep.
I do have Mouse Ritter coming as well.
Ooh, always want to see that. Let's see. Savo, you won't have yours either. Are you actually going to play 2024, Savo? I'm kind of curious. I don't know how big of a 5th edition player you were. Savo does those really great comic books, or those comics on Twitter with the cute little elf girl. I retweet them all the time, but anyway, I hope someday that they'll come up on the show, because I think that'd be awesome. I have not heard from Ralts this week. No, I have no time to actually play RPGs. You got the limited cover. You only bought it for the official Greyhawk stuff, though. Oh, hey, you're welcome. I have not heard from Ralts this week, so I don't know how he's doing. I'm assuming he's okay, though. I do check in, and then, if he's posting stuff, I know, okay, well, he's still alive enough from his hospital bed that he can do that.
That he can shit post.
Yeah. Well, pretty much. All right.
He's in the intensive cringe unit.
The intensive cringe unit. No kidding. All right. I'm going to close out some tabs here. Just a little bit. I got kind of hooked up on the Steam game that I've been playing called Aeon's Echo. And also Vampire Survivors. They're really, really good. But I also played a demo of a game called Into the Dead, which is it's a zombie game, of course, but it seems to have some good survival mechanics and stuff. And I believe it is actually based on a TTRPG. If I'm not mistaken, there is a TTRPG out there called Into the Dead.
I was playing Slavic Punk before I came on.
Oh, Ralts was hanging out with Jay Ishiro Finney on a stream last night. Okay, so he's doing all right then. He's doing okay if he can stream. Pity he's not hanging out here, but,
Cut him some slack.
I will. I will. I'm not mad. I'm not really mad. All right, guys, I have an important question for you all. So yeah, you can only pick one. Choose wisely. Is it the elf girlfriend who loves you, or the dwarf grill friend who will make free meat for you?
The elf, because speaking from experience, beard hairs are going to get in the food.
Well, I don't know. If you saw the show, the dwarf ended up actually being much more useful. I don't know.
I haven't. Plus, you can always eat the elf in an emergency.
Yeah, that's true. The elven emergency rations.
Yeah, dwarves are too stringy.
Stringy?
Yeah.
All muscle?
Stringy and gristly. Too much scar tissue. Bits of metal stuck in them. If there's a halfling option, go for that. Lots of marbling.
And speaking of halflings, I thought I would throw this up here and watch you kind of cringe, because I love watching you cringe.
Bastard.
So, you have a second season of The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power for me?
Yeah. That's...
Why do you do these things to me?
Because I love watching you suffer.
Go on then.
Yes, sir, I do. Fans love when we slap our colons onto their favorite franchises. Yeah, they do.
Who doesn't like a nice colon?
I mean,
Yeah.
Cultural impact that the first season had is incalculable. Oh, really? Yeah, well, in the sense that we don't have any data of any impact, but it's still pretty cool. That is pretty cool. So tell me about the second season. What's going on with everybody?
oh, hi, Caster. Hi. It's nice to see you in the audience. Would have rather have seen you on the panel.
He's too full of chicken and pasta. He can't reach the keyboard. Oh, too fat.
I guess so. I don't know. He must have too many people at his house or something to be able to stream today. Oh well.
Stop being passive aggressive.
And after I caught you, after I cut you a break and didn't make you go to work on Tuesday. Oh well.
It's not like we get paid. Come on.
No, it's not like you get paid.
Well, we're going to start off with some Sauron backstory, right? Turns out he was betrayed and killed by Adar and some orcs, but then eventually he became the Venom symbiote. So
Yes. That actually happened to him. If you didn't know about that, yes, apparently, yes, Sauron went in front of a bunch of orcs and tried to say, hey, guess what? Now Malcor's dead, and now I run all of your asses. And they said, nah, and stabbed him to death.
Because a mere orc would be able to kill Sauron.
Yeah. And then...
At his full power, obviously.
Yeah. And so, Sauron turned into, this weird little blob of black crap and basically rolled around and absorbed everything, kind of like the Thing, except black and tar looking.
Bit racist.
Oh, and you have a question from Savo. It says, Grim, if you have a moment, could you describe a favorite game system that you had created, please? Oh, gotta be Space Princess.
Can we come back to that after we finish watching this?
We can.
Okay.
he ended up being okay. What? Yeah, he tumbled around as Venom for a little bit before landing on his final form of scraggly but handsome 5 o'clock Shadow Man. Pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much true. He kind of just like flowed around on everything and ate everything, and then attached himself to a wagon wheel, got into a cart and ate a woman, and came out looking like that.
Right.
I'm not kidding.
Cool that he could customize his character like that, right? So anyway, then he got into a shipwreck and had a little meet cute with Galadriel in the middle of the ocean.
And that was the most convoluted garbage I've ever seen in my life, because somehow he managed to get on this boat with these people, and one of them just happened to be wearing a symbol of the old kingdoms or whatever, and Sauron basically killed the guy and stole it and wore it, and that's how Galadriel thought that he was, the king of the old... Yeah. I can't make this up because the show actually did this. Oh, and I did actually have somebody swearing up and down to me that everything about the show was completely factual and based on the thing, and so it was all lore accurate. And I'm like, no, it isn't. I'm glad you enjoy it, but no, it isn't.
What's going on now that she knows that he's Sauron? Well, she thinks they should use the rings forged in the first season to fight him, and the High King agrees. Kings that get high are tight. That's not... Never mind. So Elrond, he thinks not that. So he takes the rings and jumps off a big old waterfall. Is he okay? Obviously, yes. So he goes to see this old wise elf to help.
Yeah, that happened. That happened. He
Okay.
him, and the elf is like, we should...
Yeah, this is supposed to be the oldest of elf kind, by the way. I forget the guy's name, but...
Because they're not ageless or anything.
Well, that's how you can tell he's old. He's got a beard.
Yes, quite.
Totally use these rings. So what did that accomplish? We filled up some screen time, and we're closer to our content targets on Amazon Prime Video. Oh, wow. Yeah, super exciting stuff. So then Galadriel gets a ring. How? It rolls to her feet, and so she's like, well, that's mine now.
Yes!
That's how that works.
That's how that works.
Works. And what about the other characters, like Tall Wizard, who is definitely not Gandalf?
Who is definitely Gandalf.
Oh, well, we're going to find out at the end of this season that he is Gandalf. What? Yeah, and that's going to allow us to spend this entire season doing what every good prequel does. Revealing how he got his name and accessories. Exactly. So he figures he...
Yes, that's literally his entire arc this entire season, is figuring out how he gets his name and how he gets his staff.
And his hat. That's probably a story behind that.
I think Tom Bombadil gave it to him.
Right. Maybe it just rolls up to his feet.
I guess I don't know. I mean, do you know how much sleep medication I was on when I was trying to watch this? Just
Not enough.
Not enough, because I didn't sleep through it all. But
Yeah.
He needs a staff, and he's going to help those non-Hobbit hobbits, and he's going to get one. Amazing! And one of those non-Hobbit hobbits is going to kiss a boy on the mouth. Ew. Why? I don't know, but that's in here. Oh, okay. And eventually, these other little folks that he helps out are going to be like, well, thanks a lot, Grandalf. And he's going to be like, Grandalf? My name's going to be Gandalf, isn't it?
yes. 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 Yes, Grim. Yes.
Carry on.
Oh, it comes from mispronouncing an incorrect statement. That's kind of neat. That's right, sir. Tom Bombadil confirms it. Tom Bombadil? Yeah, he's in this, and he's like, hey, I'm your quest guide or something. I don't know. And how does Gandalf get the staff exactly? He freaking finds it, but Tom Bombadil explains it's like in the books, you know, it's like a wand chooses the wizard type of thing. Well, that's from Harry Potter, I think. Oh, whoops. Whoopsie, well...
Yes. Yes. What's wrong, Grim?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
We'll do it anyway. So what's going on with the other characters? What's going on with Isildur? Well, he's found by a horse and escapes some spiders and falls in love with a girl who's gonna...
Yes, he literally gets to fight baby Shelob. They confirmed it's Shelob that he fights, and it's baby Shelob. It's not full-grown Shelob yet.
Right. Okay.
Leave him, but then isn't, and then he leaves her. Hey, listen, that sounds like things that are definitely going to happen. They are. And what about Arondir? Oh, well, I didn't really know what to do with him this season, so he's going to pop out once in a while to help out in ways that involve him doing lots of flips. Very cool. But at a certain point, he's going to get fatally stabbed on the battlefield.
Yeah, that's apparently the actress that, he was with in the first season, the human that he was so deeply in love with their forbidden love arc and everything. Apparently she quit or didn't come back for the second season, so they just said she died. Yeah, she died off screen. Yeah,
Nothing matters. Everything's doomed. Entropy cannot be averted or halted. I should have brought more booze.
I think Bob has you pretty well figured out.
Yeah.
And yes, he does get fatally stabbed on the battlefield. And,
oh no, it's going to be tough to survive a fatal stab wound. Actually, it's going to be super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Oh, really? Yeah, see, the next time we see him, he's totally fine, and we never mention what happened or mention it at all again. So how'd he survive? By being totally fine the next time we see him. I guess that makes sense. Maybe.
Yep, literally. That's he shows absolutely no effect from being stabbed fatally earlier in the... He's just fine. Just, people can survive fatal liver stab wounds because...
Fine. Square wheels.
Well, yeah. Okay. That is a very Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing, though. It's like, I only have one hit point left, but I'm still operating at 100%, like it didn't bother me. So, I guess?
Maybe took a long rest off screen?
Maybe, or, something. I don't know, but that happened.
I don't know. And what about blind Queen Lady in Numenor? She got blinded by a volcano in the last season. Oh, well, she loses control of...
Never mind why she is her particular shade, and everybody else in her court is white. That's never explained.
Because reasons.
Yeah.
Numenor after a big bird decides that a guy with drastic eyebrows should be in charge. What? But then she regains power after a giant sea worm decides that she should be in charge.
Yes. Yes, that happens.
Okay.
Is their political system just based on whatever giant animal they come across? Mostly yes, but then she gets accused of colluding with Sauron, so she's out again. Dang, well I hope she comes across a giant chipmunk or something. Yeah, that might help. And then there's also stuff going on with those dwarves. What's going on with those little dudes? Well, the king gets a ring, and that drives him mad with greed and power. Uh-oh, powerful short king. So he starts digging like crazy and accidentally comes across the Balrog.
Yeah. That happened.
Okay.
Yeah, Durin's Doom literally got its name from the king going nuts and digging so deep for Mithril that, yeah, he unleashed the Balrog that was all the way down there. I don't know why the Balrog was hanging out down there, just dormant or whatever, but apparently that's just kind of what they do. And despite the fact that they have wings and stuff, this Balrog was trapped underground for reasons and stayed there for, until they found him in Lord of the Rings. Because that's what Balrogs do, I guess. I don't know.
Just chilling.
I mean, I don't get it, but nothing in this series makes any sense to me anyway.
So what does he do? He Leroy Jenkinses it and sacrifices himself, so his son and all the other dwarves go up and have a nice little funeral. Are they not concerned about the giant fire monster they found in the basement? Seemingly not. And what is Sauron up to now that he's been found out? Well, he heads back to see that elf Celebrimbor to make more rings. Did nobody tell that guy about the situation? No, they tried once and then didn't follow up on it. Oh, well, they tried. So now Sauron pretends to be the Lord of the Gifts, which means he's got a totally different hairstyle. Oh, sick, new skin. But he's got another trick up his sleeve.
Yeah. So, Sauron shows up in the Elven Court as Anatar, Lord of Gifts, and for some reason, Celebrimbor just decides, let's just do everything that this guy tells us, utterly, completely. There's even slight homoerotic subtext, but it's not really,
Yeah, seems plausible.
Yeah. But yeah, that happens, yeah, and apparently Sauron can manipulate people's visual acuity and things because he traps Celebrimbor in a loop. I'm not kidding. He literally traps him in a loop where Celebrimbor thinks, "Oh, everything's fine." And nothing's going on, and yet his kingdom is getting ruined on the outside by orcs, his place is falling down and everything else, and the only way he finds out about it is he sees a mouse doing the same thing twice, like in The Matrix. I'm not making this up, Grim.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, see, he convinces Adar and the orcs to attack the city. How come? Because then he can tell Celebrimbor, I'll stop them from attacking the city only if you finish making these rings. Oh,
yeah. Celebrimbor has been good with names, but shitty with faces for the last 2,000 years. Yeah, exactly.
Face blindness, it's a thing.
It's a thing.
Did he stop making the rings? Yeah, well, he stopped because the frickin' city was under attack. So he would have just kept going if Sauron hadn't planned that attack? Well.
Yeah, that happens. Sauron somehow manages to convince the orcs to attack the city, and the orcs show up with the most implausible siege machines ever conceived of by anybody. Because basically they're just... I don't really know how they're supposed to work. I guess they're supposed to, pull blocks out of, fortifications. I'm just kind of like, with a little bit more work, you guys could have had a working trebuchet or a scorpion or something else and actually knock those walls.
So it's like a big plumber's plunger just on the wall and then pulls the block out.
Basically, yes.
Okay. Yeah, seems plausible.
No, it doesn't. But you're drinking the wrong drink, by the way. And the giant troll that they were so proud of, and they were talking about on the behind the scenes, is based on Mike Ehrmantraut from the Better Call Saul series and Breaking Bad series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he shows up and he gets killed pretty much in one episode.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a real big part of that show.
Mm-hmm.
Well, listen, I do want to see some orc warfare. Well, good. This week they would get there that way with this. Very cool. Yeah, they're gonna do some freaking cool stuff like destroy a mountainside so it crumbles.
Yes, they literally destroyed an entire mountainside in order to dam up this river and try to flood the city. And my thought was, if you have the ability to do this, how come you can't knock down a fucking wall?
Yeah. And that would cause a tsunami anyway, so.
Plus, also, I thought, well, it's very nicely, it's a great idea that, the Elven City was situated in such a place as to where this exact set of geographic events could be plausible. I mean,
Yeah.
Down and dams a river, which means they can walk right across. Hey, listen.
Yeah, because apparently after you dam up a river, the entire riverbed is totally okay to cross. It's just a little bit muddy, and drag siege engines across.
Okay.
And I don't think that's how rivers or mountains work, but it's like I told my friend before he fell into a hole to his death. Oh, well. Then there's also going to be a big fight scene between Sauron and Galadriel because they're in love, I guess? I don't care. And how does that go? Well, she's going to get seriously stabbed and throw herself off a cliff to get out of there. Well, she can't die. She's in the Lord of the Rings movies. That's right, yeah, and so that's why, no, she doesn't. She's all right. Well, great. And in fact, anyone that we know from the Lord of the Rings movies that's in this show will not be dying in this show. So that's, yeah, I guess that'll be exciting to watch, even though we know they're not in any danger. Right.
Yeah, that's also, yeah. And anybody who knows any basic Tolkien lore knows how all these characters are going to end up anyway, so it's just kind of like, why are we watching this?
Yeah. And how does this fit up with what we know?
Exactly.
It doesn't, is the short answer.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's like, I've been playing with the new AI recently, and it writes better than this.
Right, because it's like, well, what if they have a bad day? They wouldn't like that. Yeah, that would suck for them, probably. Probably. So then all the main elf characters pose dramatic.
Yeah, and the one who doesn't exist, the two who will, and then there's the guy in the middle who is destined to become a standard for an orc after they kill him and use him as a standard. Because that's, High King Gil-galad.
And we're done. Well, it sounds like a second season. Another one, number 2. Yeah, I mean, let's hope people like it so we can keep making more. Well, that doesn't really matter. We spent well over $1 billion on this. We're in this now. What?
Yeah. I don't see how they can do it. Did it just look like losing money?
I mean, they've got plenty. So
I guess. Mercurius for Australian $2. Thank you very much, sir. My only contributor. You, my friend, keep the lights on.
Savo was asking about games. Savo, sorry, was asking about game systems.
Let me give him his clip real quick.
Good to be seeing eye to eye again. Thanks, V. Truly.
There you go. And
so what was the original comment?
Yes, here we go. Grim, if you have a moment, could you describe a favorite game system that you have created, please?
System rather than setting.
Yeah. It's got to be Space Princess.
Well, no, because that's just an OSR system with some subsystems bolted on. I do think the creature and alien creation system from that was good. The description system has been fairly popular over the years, I guess, and I quite like what I managed to do with actual fucking monsters, but it needs a bit of a tidy up and
Rewrite.
Rewrite a slight shift in a couple of the rules, which are a bit unclear. But I like the way it works overall.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I like Space Princess, even though it is kind of building off of an existing rule set. It's just a good idea. It does need some more fleshing out, and hopefully we will write some more stuff for it because it would be fun.
It can do.
All right. Now we just did all that Rings of Power awfulness. So I just want to kind of like lighten the mood a little bit and give you some Lord of the Rings you can enjoy. Here you go.
For Frodo.
Yes, this is Lord of the Rings ruined by AI.
Let's hunt some orc. Oh no, from the direction. I'm sure he will die.
This is just a way to kill one of the best moments in the first film. You remember when these were good movies, when you really looked forward to them? Because I remember watching Lord of the Rings back in the theater, and I watched it 5 times in the theater. No kidding, I did. And I remember how long the wait was for the Two Towers. And I remember how awesome the Two Towers was, how we all like watched it and how we were all like weeping at the end of it, and how excited we were for the third one, how long the time seemed and how enjoyable it was. And those days are not coming back, are they?
No. Next few years is all going to be Terrifier clones.
I did actually watch those. I haven't seen the third one yet, but the first two, and All Hallows Eve, I'm going to say a lot of mindless kills, extensive, copious amounts of torture porn, gore. I mean, I guess it's okay. I mean, it's not really horror in the sense of horror, but I mean, different strokes, I guess.
Yeah.
I can't carry it for you, but I can carry you. Come on!
What gets me about the Lord of the Rings movies and stuff like that is how the really awesome relationship between Samwise and Frodo is actually played out and how well it's done. So when I read people putting up their fanfic shipping of these two characters or trying to insist that they're gay and all that, I just die inside a little bit.
Yeah.
You really think I'm gonna carry you?
Nice, where I got this from. Come on, that's funny. I'm sorry, that's so not what you expected. And this was such a good scene, too.
It's lunchtime!
We need a few good taters.
I mean, come on, these are some great role playing moments.
What's taters, brothers? What's taters, huh?
Potatoes. Boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew. Lovely big golden.
Uh-oh.
We do not know who else may be watching.
Very nice.
Those are good. Damn. You know, I watched a Peter Jackson movie recently. I watched, I think I told you, I watched Brain Dead recently.
Yes.
Which was like one of his first films. The one I have not seen, and I really, really want to, is Brain Dead. Or not was it Bad Taste?
Bad Taste?
Yes.
I've seen that. Yeah.
Is it good?
No, in the best possible way. But there were some scenes I found hard to stomach. The vomit drinking scene was very difficult.
I've also heard there's another one called Meet the Feebles that I need to see.
Yes, that's kind of like an adult version of the Muppets.
Yeah,
it's a trip. You have to be in the right state of mind for it, I think.
Bad Taste. Aren't I lucky? I got a chunky bit. Well, all right. I was hoping we would have Castor for this, but since we don't, we're just going to go without him. But I do have something kind of cool. You know, I've already mentioned last week how... Oh, come on now. Don't do this to me. Fool thing.
Cool thing.
Yeah. So Kevin Crawford has got he's got his new Kickstarter out for Ashes Without Number. And I haven't seen what the numbers look like recently. I'm sure it's got to be like unbelievable numbers right now. Let me take a look real quick. Here we go. Top of my list, actually. 21 days to go, 197,000 out of a $40,000 stretch goal. Everybody out there in YouTube land already knows that it's my favorite. He's one of my favorite designers. So if you really want, go check out the Kickstarter for Cine Nomine Inc. For Ashes Without Number. Get on it. Get some Kevin Crawford goodness. Because believe me, his books are worth it. But to backers, he has already sent out a PDF of the beta. So, or maybe I should do it British. The beta. Is that right?
No, we'd probably say beta, actually.
Okay.
For software and things. I think we said, the Betamax recorder, not Betamax.
Okay. Well, this is the beta release, 07, so it's not finished. But we can kind of take a look at it and see kind of how it's going to go. Yeah, see, it's intro to be determined. It is again it's a sandbox. It is basically it's a big giant toolkit because you're going to make the world, and then there's the characters. But yeah, he's got these different campaign ideas: Mutant Wastelands, Deadlands campaigns, After the Fall campaigns. It's got your standard 6 attributes and everything. Everything pretty much falls in line with all the other Without Number books. So if you're already familiar with that stuff, this is not going to be so much different. So getting to what's actually different, here's our backgrounds. There's a few things on here that are a little different. Courtesans, crafters, diplomats, entertainers, farmers, healers, hunters, nobles, outcasts, priests, raiders, riders.
Much the same, just with a slightly different flavor.
Yeah, and all of them are. The edges are usually kind of what makes it different. He does have the underdog rule. He does have rules for gifted survivors. But here's some of the edges. He's got like Beacon of Hope, which gives you some kind of charisma stuff. Comrade, think is no Ghost, which I think Ghost is in Cities Without Number too.
Yeah.
Hard to Kill is in there. Killing Blow is in there. Survivor's Fortune is a new one, I think. Veteran's Luck is kind of different. Now, here's also what's kind of different, too. Depending on the specific style of campaign, like Mutant Wasteland or After the Fall or Deadlands, he's got specific edges made for those that are tailor-made for it. Like, since mutation is such a big deal in the Mutant Wasteland things, he's got, like, hardened genetics or mutant or mutation acceleration. Deadland edges, he's got systemic immunity, and they're here. If I were going to run a Deadlands game, and I do love zombie apocalypse games, I would almost have to tell everybody, like, hey, everybody has systemic immunity. You have to take that as a focus, or you get it for free, because players are going to get bitten a lot. They are, because you're going to have some dude who figures, oh, I can wade in there with 100 zombies and win. Because they're slow and stupid.
Yeah.
After the Fall, we have Cold Blood. So he no longer gets stress. So there's a new stress mechanic, apparently. Forged in Fire. Kind of neat. And then we actually have mutations. These are new. So now we have mutations in the game. With a little bit of tweaking, you could take this and kind of make kind of like a really low-tech, low-powered superhero game, I suppose. Especially if you took out all the defects. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just keep all the positive mutations.
Or combine it with cities to make a Strontium Dog campaign.
Why not? And see, that's what I like about this, is these toolkit style games, you can just kind of like stick them together and they work. I mean, I don't know. I like it. There's tons of them. If you really want to know what all these are, or you really want to take a look at this document for yourself, throw him $1 and, back it at the lowest level, I guess. And I think you'll get the download link for it. So then we actually have Foci, which these are usually pretty much all the same between games, but let me see if there's anything here that kind of pokes out.
Excuse me.
Are you bored?
No.
Gray Man seems new, I think.
Yeah.
Natural immunity, maybe. Scrapsmith. Okay, this is obviously a new one. So apparently he's got a construction system in this one. I'm excited to see that, because what I'm guessing this is going to let you do is build scrap weapons and modify weaponry using scrap materials, which is honestly kind of cool. That happens in a lot of video games that are pretty popular, like Dead Rising in particular is the first thing I think of, where oh, look, I'm going to take this axe and this, broom and stick them together and make, the broom axe or something and just whack zombies to death with it. I don't know. I don't know.
My favorite one of those is we played a Space Marine game using the old Fantasy Flight one. And it was his initiation. So, on this primitive planet with no power armor or anything. And he ended up slaughtering a Tyrannid, I can't remember what kind, but with a plow blade. And then that became his signature weapon. So he had it taken back and modified by the tech priests. So he had a plower blade, which was fun.
Jim seems thrilled to be alive. Did I miss something? Yes, Joe. You missed our watching the Rings of Power season 2 discussion. Yeah.
And I sank a triple shot of rum earlier. So
Road Warrior is a new one because it's about driving. So I'm guessing he's going to have all kinds of driving rules and stuff, which I I think he already had vehicle rules from Cities Without Number, but
Yeah, they were okay. Not great. So hopefully he's done another iteration of those.
Robot Whisperer, that's new. Which I hope he includes some new robots and things. Specialist, Strongback. Unstable Mutant is new. That one is cool because your mutations are prone to shifting randomly over time. So, yeah, any mutations that you take as a mutant will change randomly. That could be
Gamma World 4th, isn't it?
A little bit, but it's also fun, I think. Okay, now this right here got me excited. Survivalist, placeholder for interacting with the foraging and salvaging systems. So he's going to have a foraging and salvaging system in this, which is something I absolutely love. And now I am pissed at myself because I'm running the settlement game. And those would have been perfect for that. So once again, I got ahead of myself, and oh well, we'll live with it. Yeah, hit point, saving throws, attack bonuses. This is all pretty much. This is his standard, stuff that he uses for all of his systems. So there's nothing new there. If you're already familiar with Without Numbers games, that's not going to be anything new. So let me see where we do get some new stuff. Yeah, keep in mind this is still the early beta. So here's the vehicles and nothing new here. It doesn't seem like. It'll be kind of fun to keep checking up on this as he puts out new betas, but we do have full radiation rules, including radiation that mutates you, because normally, radiation just gives you cancer and you die. So the whole radiation turns you into a mutant stuff, that's just fun. I actually wonder where that trope started.
It's got to be the 40s and 50s, hasn't it?
I guess. I mean, people thought, then people are going to get hit with radiation and they're going to mutate, and so they're going to grow arms out of their backs and shit. Here they have he has a new stress mechanic, which obviously, as you can see, you can start building up stress, and stress plays more of a factor in this game than it does in all the other ones, which is pretty cool. Again, I wish that we had these rules when I started the settlement game, because it would have been perfect. Oh well.
Okay, so the radioactive mutant thing has a few earlier precursors, but it first became properly codified in The Beast from 20,000 Fathoms. 1953.
Because he's a mutant?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, they have breakdowns, they have stress and hardening, you have psychic scars. This is gonna be interesting to see how this goes down. Some of the stuff kind of reminds me of how he handled the cyberpsychosis from Cities Without Number.
Yeah, it's another one of those things. I don't like mixing mystical weirdness with my post-apocalypse. I feel like it undermines it a bit.
Stress?
No, the mutations and psychic powers and things like that.
Fair.
Like
hunger, thirst.
Cyberpunk. It's just yeah, proper
this
survival rules is good, always good.
Yep. And here we go. We have some actual survival rules here. We have hunger, thirst, and supplies. We have encumbrances for how much a day of water, a day of travel rations and things gives you, which is important because that's going to be, something people are going to be constantly looking for. Pack animals and vehicle loads. I expect this is going to be pretty heavily fleshed out. Situations that can cause privation, like starving, thirsting, and freezing, and foraging. Yeah, this is stuff that gets me excited.
What's the sweet spot of fidelity there for you for survival and foraging and stuff? Do you just want abstract sort of levels of supplies, or do you want to? How deep into it do you want to go?
Well, honestly, I guess it kind of comes from almost like a Rube Goldberg level of detail on some things, because one of the coolest things I remember as a games master is one of my players telling me in autistic detail how he was going to buy a cane from a store, then buy a drill, then hollow out a section of the cane and sculpt the top to where it could fit back on top of it, and then put all of his gold coins inside the cane and use the top put on it. Now, I mean, yes, that was a ridiculous, like I said, autistic level of detail, but he actually took time to describe to me what he was going to do with it, or how he was going to do it, and I was just kind of like, I wonder what other situations players could find themselves in and apply that level of autistic detail to make fun things, because my thought is, if he took this much time to detail it to me, then it means something to him. It's an investment of his time and into his character, and it's something he's going to remember that character for, and it's something other people are going to remember that character for.
I mean, do you roll for the availability of the cane, and then the availability for the drill, and then for the woodworking to hollow out the cane, and then for the woodworking to make the removable top? How far do you take it? That's the question for me. Or do you just reduce it to a single craft roll and leave it at that?
I think it kind of depends on your time and how invested you can see the other person is in the idea.
And whether you're playing Axe or not, I guess.
I guess. I mean, I don't know. But, look at you guys. Okay, in the settlement game, you guys are like stealing bronze doors and stuff like that. Stuff you would never do in a normal game.
Yeah.
And I try to make everything that you take have some kind of a value to you. Or at the very least, I figure somebody in the party has an idea for this. I want to see what they're going to do with it. So it's fun. And based on the number of survival video games that are out there, survival crafting video games, that is a popular that's a popular trope.
Yeah, we'll need to talk about Bastions when we have seen the new book.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Standard character advancement rate stuff, just like normal. Nothing new here. It does talk about gear in the apocalypse and sci-fi gear and money and trade. Currency is kind of a deal because, obviously, well, like you guys are discovering in the settlement game, you guys have lots of gold and it's all absolutely worthless. There's nobody to trade it with.
Except goblins.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like, whenever Captain Kirk was stranded on the planet with that Gorn, and he finds all these gemstones, and he's like, a handful of precious gemstones worth millions or whatever. Yet I would trade them all for a hand phaser.
400 quartlus on the newcomer.
Yeah. Hauling down allies. Yeah. Stowed and ready weapons, tech levels, and scrap. Now, this is kind of cool. Now we have our scrapping system here. So when you do find stuff, you can actually figure out what it's worth and what can be broken down and what could be useful and what isn't. Then there'll be tables for this. And we have communities and tech levels. We have damaging and repairing gear, which that's something that doesn't normally come up in your regular games. And I don't know. Sometimes people really think that damaged gear can be crappy. Because, nobody wants to sit around and go, oh, man, I almost broke my sword.
Genre, I think, makes a difference. as well. Keeping track of these things or having to keep track of these things can bring home the survival nature of the game. Every bit of ammo, every scrap of food, that helps make it work. Why I don't really criticize the old Resident Evil games for their terrible inventory management, because that was all part of, what can I afford to take with me and leave enough space,
Right. One thing that is nice is since he does have rules for building gear and crafting gear, I'm going to try to see what of these I can use for the settlement game now that we actually have some kind of a direction to go with. And yeah, as you can see, he does have mods and stuff. Armor types. This is something that's important to me. And I haven't checked it to see whether or not his armor and weapons are going to have soaking rules. I hope he does bring it back, because the soak rules were my favorite thing about Cities Without Number.
Looks like they make it harder for people to trauma hit you.
Shock is back, as we can see. And yeah, trauma is still there. Trauma is pretty brutal. Look at that. Big axe does a D10 damage and a D8 on the trauma hits with 4 times damage ratings. Ooh, boy. And even on a AC 15 or lower, you're still getting 3 points of shock damage. So, yeah, that is the weapon you'd always want to get right there.
Yeah.
Ranged weapons, of course. This has got to be pretty extensive. Well, that's less extensive than I thought it would be.
So just broad categories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He never gets into very autistic detail about this stuff, because it is kind of a toolbox.
I guess it doesn't matter so much in a survival game, because it's whatever you can grab or cobble together.
He does have some brutal stuff in here, though. Look at that. Mag rifle, neutron blasters, heavy cutters. That stuff will mess up your day. Oh, and the heavy, anti-material rifles. Fun stuff. Hydra array, wheat cutter belt. What the hell's a wheat cutter belt? Oh, this is from Stars Without Number. I think it's on mandate riot control vehicles and defensive fixtures. When detonated, all creatures within 10 meters of that side of the vehicle must make an evasion save for half damage from the shrapnel.
So
nice.
Louder than these. Yeah.
Yep. Basically, it's kind of like a anti-personnel weapon. Here's our armor mods and armors. Well, this is for this. Oh, good. How much scrap you need to fix it, what kind of tech you need to build it, and okay, I like this. And this is for modding. Predictive guidance, real wires. Oof. Adventuring gear, TBD. Yep. Enclaves and settlements is kind of a new feature of this one, because obviously settlements to settlement and enclaves of people are going to be more important out in the wastes, because you're not really necessarily going to have cities. You're going to have small strongholds and holdout peoples and stuff like that. So the fact that all this Dominion stuff in here too is kind of a neat step as well. This is something that he's never really messed with. I like it.
Yes, that could be interesting.
Yeah. I mean, just setting up your own wasteland communities and stuff. Creating your campaign. Obviously, that's... campaign themes. Exile, fragility, death. Yeah. Hope, despair, hunger, paralysis, privation, ignorance. Genres. He tells you kind of what to make use of in all these types of campaigns, which is good.
Yeah.
Crisis campaign. Ooh. Crisis-structured campaigns are sandboxes that revolve around a sequence of vast, terrible problems that befall the PCs, which is kind of what the settlement game is. Because it's kind of like one problem after another. There's exploration campaigns. I like that too. There's your regions. Golly, this is going to be good stuff, man. Did you already back it?
No, I have not. I've been trying to hold back on backing things, but that has enough tools and stuff in it that I think I'm going to end up having to, aren't I?
I honestly think you know, even if you just back it at the PDF level, I don't think you'll be too disappointed. But from the looks of it, this is going to be one of those good ones worth having. Sewage and waste. Nobody ever thinks about this stuff. And here's our actual encounter tables and stuff, or types
Actually,
of.
no, he's charging a lot for UK shipping, so.
How much is it?
Well, it's $80 for the book, and then another half of that for shipping to the UK. So, bit rich for me at the moment. I need to save money. So.
Well, Christmas is coming.
Yeah.
All right. Now, see, I like this. Okay. So we have the encounter sites. So he's got all these kind of different types of features for the encounter sites, but then he also has what's inside of them. Are they booby-trapped? Are they prisons? Do they reek? Are they electrified? Are they vaults? You know, what's the deal with them? Are they graves? And then who's actually in them? Hunters, locals, lunatics, deserters, families, mutants. I like that. And it, depending on your campaign, it's going to tell you what's in it. One roll encounter sites. Yeah, this is why you really buy Kevin Crawford stuff. If you like tables and you like to just make stuff, his books are the stuff that you need. And this one looks like it's exactly what you want. Or exactly what I want anyway. Yeah, and here he's got some examples already, like, you know, gun store. 13 plus for ammo, 11 plus for 1d2 plus 1 weapons, 11 plus for 1d4 occupant loots. Apartments, farm get. Man, this is good. Perishable food, yes. These are rules that we need. Stuff that's perishable. How long it's gonna last? No, I'm serious. I mean, if you're in a zombie apocalypse and you break into a supermarket and you want to go get a, you know, like a slab of steak, you know, how long is it gonna last? You know, what's the deal gonna be with it? And look what he's got here for valuable spices and seasonings. Like you know, a jar of minced garlic or ginger in the post-apocalypse. Yeah, because anything to spice up your, I don't know, rat stew.
And how long's fuel gonna last?
Yeah, I kind of wonder if he's got rules for that too. And then he has clothing, of course, for looted clothing, fuels. What kind of fuels? I'm telling you. Oh, and he's got some household goods here too already. That used to be the most fun thing I used to enjoy about Dominic Covey's Darwin's World game, was looking at his random loot tables. They were so much fun. Polymorphic keyring can memorize any key it touches and shapeshift to reproduce it. How cool is that? You'd love to find that. Mood ring can intuitively analyze a visible target's current mood. Breaks on a 1 through 4 after analysis. One roll gear appearance and usage. And that's where it stops at 129 pages. I know this book is going to be a lot bigger than this. So, but already, you know, for this just being, you know, the beta, 129 pages. That's a pretty significant amount of stuff. Yes, I do, Joe. I do love to crunch. I really do. We should pay midgets and have them act out your role playing. Well, if we could. We're discovering that in acts, take only what you know you will be able to sell. Damaged gear is important to me. Yeah, that's true, Patty. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm glad I backed it. Don't worry, Grim. Like I said, Christmas is coming. I'm sure Santa shirt will find a way to help you get one.
But I'm on the naughty list every year.
Well, no more so than me. All right, my friend. We've already gone over our hour pretty much. Did you have fun?
Yeah, apart from the Lord of the Rings shit. It's just... I'm so glad I decided not to watch any of it.
It's not going to edify you in any way, shape, or form. So
No.
Nor anybody else. They should just go ahead and cancel it. But,
Yeah.
Anyway, so what tomorrow is Robotech?
Robotech, yes, the new one.
Robotech. Okay, I'm curious about it to see how it is. I want to see how it stacks up to the old one from Simbita.
Faster, less crunchy, possibly too narrative-y, but we shall see.
All right. Well, I look forward to it. And those of y'all out there in YouTube land, look forward to Tuesday with Geeks, where hopefully I will not be sick to my stomach all night and not able to sit still for longer than 2 seconds without having to run to the bathroom.
Let's hope.
Let's hope, because that was not a good night. But anyway, y'all take care out there and have a great week in Geek. We will see y'all later.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams. alive. How do you overcome the suffering of life?
Wake the fuck up, samurai. We have a city to burn.